Just tell me who your crush is. Your mom.
It is quite insane, bro.
So the CS63, what happened to this tank? When the CS was first released, it was one of the most mediocre tanks you could play. This tank was so boring that it became the least played tank in the game. It wasn't anything bad, but it was very mid. The CS has reticle calibration and tungsten shells. On top of that, this tank has gear oil, which makes you faster. Oh, it also has gunpowder. But let's be realistic. Who uses that? So why was this tank so mid, you might ask? Well, because of its statistics. Before update 11.3, the update where it got buffed, the stats were pretty mediocre. The DPM was 2955 with calibrated shells, meaning it was under 3000, which is bad nowadays. The tank still has one of the worst pens in tier 10. The AP pen is 248mm base and the APCR is 290 base. If you want to run with calibrated shells, your AP pen goes up to 268 and your APCR goes up to 305mm. That is still not enough to cut through the E100 turret reliably. The accuracy wasn't the best either. The dispersion was 0.317 base and on the move dispersion was one of the worst in tier 10. The most disappointed stat was that the mobility was really bad. It had good top speed at 56 km, but the power to rate was one of the worst in tier 10. Which, if you don't know, when your power to rate is bad, you can hardly reach your top speed at 56. So it was not mobile at all, which is very weird because on the PC version, the CS is the fastest medium tech in tier 10 because it has
It's like playing one of your video games without the stick.
What?
Because it has a boost mechanic that you could activate at any time and make your tank really fast. But the downside is that your accuracy is one of the worst in the game. On top of that, your camo value drops, which is important in the PC version. So everyone was excited when the CS got announced and everyone thought that this tank would be the fastest tier 10. But Wargaming let everyone down, including me, and made this tank into a turd. On top of that, this tank got released in the worst time ever. This tank got introduced in update 10.3, which is the update that the whole tier 10 got rebalanced. The Leopard 1 got a DPM buff, the E50M got an armor buff, the STB got a DPM buff, even the AMX 30B got a DPM buff. All of these tanks had over 3k DPM. So the biggest question was always, why would you play the CS63 when you have tanks like the Leopard 1? Fast forward to update 11.3, the CS got a buff! They buffed the top speed from 56 km to 58 km. They buffed the reload from 6.42 seconds to 5.76 seconds. This is with rammer equipped. So the DPM changed from 3293 to 3540 DPM. Again, this is with rammer equipped. They buffed the dispersion from 0.317 to 0.308. If you put on refined, which buffs your dispersion, you get 0.262. The most important buff was the mobility buff. They buffed it to a point where it isn't sluggish anymore. Oh, they also gave this tank adaptive concealment. If you don't know what that is, it's a mechanic in the game which is probably the most broken mechanic. Normally when you get spotted, you have to wait 10 seconds to get unspotted or 7 seconds after the light bulb disappears. With this mechanic, not only can you see who spotted you, you also get unspotted faster at 7 seconds or 4 seconds after the light bulb disappears. After these buffs, the CS is in a very good state. This tank with rammer and with adrenaline and tungsten active, you get 4761 DPM. Yeah, that's a lot of DPM, and yet this tank is not played at all. This shows you how broken the top tier mediums are in this game. Now let me show you how I equip this tank. I run this tank with rammer, which I normally don't do because calibrated is so broken right now, and with adrenaline and tungsten. If you're well connected with this community, this is also the same setup that Peter CACW runs. With this setup you can farm up damage so fast, it's actually very hilarious. I also have a different setup where I have rammer, vertical calibration and tungsten shells with double gear oil and fuel. With this setup, you sacrifice DPM but gain mobility and accuracy. The thing is, with CS, you can have so many builds. It's actually very fun, and I suggest you guys to experiment with them. This is probably why the CS is one of my favorite medium tanks in the game right now. It's the fact that you can have so many builds and the tank is overall very enjoyable. But with all of those juicy things that I just mentioned, this tank still has some very notable downsides. First of all, the pen hasn't been buffed. It still has the exact same pen it had when it was first introduced. Second of all, this tank has no armor. You have some troll spots on the turret, but you shouldn't rely on it and the whole armor is non-existent. Third of all, this tank's on movement dispersion is still pretty bad. You have to wait pretty long to get accurate shots in. Last of all, this is coming from me personally, I still want this tank to be the fastest medium tank in the game. Maybe they could shave out the reload and give it a huge mobility buff. Maybe Wargaming, maybe please make this tank pretty fast, please, I'm begging you. Well, that's enough of me yapping. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.